the truth about scaling without the burnout. Oftentimes when I talk about how to scale your business, people think that that means two things. One is that it's easy. Secondly, that it means that they're not going to be tired or overwhelmed ever. And that's just not true. What it does mean is that you can work really hard for short periods of time as you implement systems. But then once those systems are in place, you should start to feel some leverage. Just a really great example is hiring that first admin. It's probably one of the toughest transitions because you're going from having to worry about just yourself to now having to worry about another person. And the period of time that it takes to post the ad that you're hiring, to interviewing, to then making the hire, and then guiding them through a 30, 60, 90, or a first 100 days, and the training that is involved, it's a lot of work. And you don't see that or feel that leverage right away. Oftentimes, it actually slows you down for the first 30 days because the amount of time that it takes for you to have to train them on how to do the things. And when you're training someone, we like to do I do, we do, you do. So I do is you're sitting next to the admin, or say you're hiring a buyer's agent next to the buyer's agent, and they're watching you do the things and they're taking notes and they're absorbing. I also highly recommend doing like screen shares through Loom and recording so that way they have those videos and training sessions to go back to. Another great tool is Scribe. So do that at the same time, so that way when they get stuck, when they're doing it on their own in the future, they have those as reference. Second then is we do. So you're gonna start allowing them to take the reins, but you're still there watching them do it, so that way you can point out anything that they need help with. So that's the we do. And then you do is they get to do it by themselves, and maybe before they submit it, they're going to send it to you for a final review just to make sure everything looks good before they then put it out to the world. So say you're having them work on an email marketing campaign, they're going to put the draft together, make it look all pretty for you, however you like it, and they're going to send that test email to you first. And after a period of time, you won't need those test emails sent to you because you know you can just trust them. Another key component to this is there's a difference between a doer and somebody who's going to actually own the project. So when you're looking to hire, it's labor versus leverage. If you hire labor, this is somebody who can only follow a checklist, they can only do what they're told, and it's not going to feel like leverage. You're going to feel like you're still really in the weeds and like it's eating up a lot of your time. When you hire somebody that's truly leverage, they're going to start out with a checklist, but then they're going to have the talent and the ability to take that and say, oh, actually, we can do this and I can do that, and I'm going to incorporate this system and I'm going to build this for us. And they truly start to make you feel like you bought your time back. That's how you know the difference between did you hire the right person or not. If it's leverage, you feel like you've got time back, you've got time to think, you truly feel like you've delegated tasks and they're not coming back to you. When you've hired labor, you still feel tired, you still feel like you're in the weeds, and you haven't gained back any mind share. And I'm sharing all of that just to say, scaling without burnout is simple in the sense that there's a system, there's a hiring process, we have a hiring system, an interviewing system, we have a 30, 60, 90 system. It's simple, but it's not easy, and you're still going to get tired, and there's still going to be times that you feel absolutely overwhelmed. What we're trying to avoid is you hitting that absolute burnout where you're now sick, you can't finish sentences, you can't think, you're exhausted, you're moody, you're blowing up at your kids because you've got no energy left. That's what we're trying to prevent. Oftentimes, I don't get called to help until you're already there. And when you're already in that state of burnout, adding on that layer of having to hire leverage feels like such a heavy lift. You can do it, and you have to just tell yourself, I just got to get through these 30, 60, 90 days, and there's going to be light at the end of the tunnel. But when you do it before you reach that point, it's so much easier. So don't wait until you're exhausted. That's why the Millionaire Real Estate Agent says, listen, when you hit 30 transactions per year, hire the admin. And then when you hit 60 transactions a year, hire the second admin. And when you do that, you're hiring before the burnout happens. Your business starts to scale before you're overwhelmed, and you can take on extra business so much easier than when you're waiting until you already feel like you're drowning. It's just a much heavier lift, but we've all been there. I've been there. I'm in that season right now where I waited too long to hire. I was trying to protect budget, which is literally the opposite of what I teach people to do. But telling people to do it and actually doing it are two different things. Now I'm in this season of I do have to work late, and I do have to work more hours, but I know that once I get the right person in this seat, I'm gonna go back to normal, and I'm gonna have normal working hours, and I'm gonna have more energy back. Lesson learned. I know that I need to hire on time and not when it's too late. So scaling without burnout, it's simple, not easy. It does take work, but it's totally worth it. I'm Brittany Guiles, team leader with Keller Williams of Central PA. Comment below. I do personally go through and answer all the comments myself. Share this with a friend who you know needs to hear this message, and follow me for more tips like this.